Okay, so we're live. Welcome to yet another pre-show. Today is a double header. Two very interesting matches. Sunrisers Hyderabad takes on Punjab Kings in the first one, and then Chennai Super Kings takes on Delhi Capitals later in the evening. My name is Ashok Nambudri. Joining me on the show are Shreyas Mukherjee, Bharat Ramraj, and Mohor Chaudhary. All right, we will get into the details of the first match initially. Sunrisers versus Punjab. Punjab, of course, sitting pretty on the table right now. They are second in the rankings with two wins out of their three matches, while Sunrisers Hyderabad is sitting at number 6 with only one win, and they will be looking to correct that tally for sure. But if you look at the head-to-head tally between Sunrisers and Punjab Kings, it is actually overwhelmingly in favor of Sunrisers Hyderabad with a 17-7 tally. In fact, they have won 5 of their last matches against Punjab, and so they will really be fancying their chances at the game at Chandigarh this afternoon. All right, let me start with you, Mohor. First things first. What do you think is going to be, SRH's strategy to try and regain lost ground?
First of all, I think what is really important for them is for their top order to fire and be consistent. Abhishek Sharma has a century against this very same team last season itself, so I think he will have some amount of confidence when he walks in. So Travis Head and Abhishek Sharma have to get going. Secondly, obviously, last day we also saw, Henrik Klassen and Nitish Kumar Reddy firing. But also, but that was much, much later. So before that, the top order has to give them some amount of hope. So that depends on their form and that depends on the way they, face the bowlers. Also, their bowling was a bit concerning as well. Like we've seen, they have, Pat Cummins not being available. The main pacer is not available for them. Also, Ishan Kishan is captaining for the first time. So a lot of things have to be kept in mind. Ishan Kishan has been improving a lot with every passing game. Obviously, he has been utilizing his spinners really well, Harsh Dubey and Shivam Kumar. But other than that, their pace bowling department as well as their top order have to really get things going.
Absolutely. Bharat, I'll come to you with a matchup. Travis Head versus Arshdeep Singh. It's going to be an interesting contest. What do you reckon is likely to play out?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. It's not just against, I think Travis Head. Arshdeep Singh has a decent record against, I think, Ishan Kishan and Henrik Klassen as well. But coming back to this one, I think, Travis Head is a player who likes any kind of room. If you give him any kind of room, he will smash it to the boundary hoardings almost every single time. There could be players who are like 8 out of 10 when it comes to hitting a loose ball to the boundary, but Travis Head is like 10 by 10 when it comes to smashing a loose ball. I think that is his greatest strength. So someone like Arshdeep Singh, that left arm angle, I think he has a slightly better chance of maybe tucking up Travis Head. That could be the reason why he's able to get Travis Head out a few times. Because he has developed that what kind of say 3/4 seam or oval seam delivery, which he tends to use it quite often. So expect him to bowl that way again, angle it back into Travis Head, and try to tuck him up for that angle. That is, I think, your best chance of getting Travis Head out at the start of the innings. So maybe I think Arshdeep Singh has a slight advantage over Travis Head in this particular matchup.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, Shneyashish, More mentioned how Ishan Kishan has been utilizing the spinners, Harsh Dubey and Shivam Kumar. And Harsh Dubey actually got a 2 for 18 in that last match against Lucknow Super Giants, which of course they lost thanks to Pant's knock of 68. Quick question, what do you think of the bowling strength of SRH, in particular the spinners? I thought Harsh Dubey was looking really good.
Yes, absolutely. I think me and Mohor were there during the KKR versus SRH match at Eden Gardens, and I think in that match we saw, I think, brilliant captaincy from Ishan Kishan. I think the way he used his spinners and especially bringing on Harsh Dubey, in the power play when Finn Allen started, going bang bang against David Pang in the first over itself. I think that was a fantastic move, and it paid off. Arshdeep took that wicket, and also Shivam Kumar looked pretty impressive in his first outing. I think in the first three overs he was pretty good with his line and length, but in the last over he couldn't manage, and eventually he ended up, I think giving around 41 runs in 4 overs. But initially, first 2 overs he was pretty good. So I think the way he has managed to, utilize his bowler according to the condition, according to the opposition, I think he has been pretty good. In the first game, you can remember he used Nitish Kumar Reddy as a new ball bowler, but in the second game against KKR, he didn't do that. He understand I understood the condition, the pitch, and he brought Nitish Kumar in the second part after 10 overs, and eventually he helped took the wicket, and Nitish Kumar was adjudged the player of the match also for his contribution with the bat, 35 plus something runs, and then also 2 wickets with the ball. So I think game by game he's looking good the way he has been using his resources, but we have to keep in mind that their prime fast bowler and also the skipper, the regular skipper, Pat Cummins is not there, so it is very difficult for them, to come up. Even their main fast bowlers, got ruled out. That is why they come up with someone like David Penn at the last moment. But the way I think Jayadev Unadkat has tried his best to come up with a help, from his experience and all. I think he bowled superbly at this Indian wicket with his slowers. I can remember the slower delivery that dismissed Ajinkya Rahane. I think every batter was struggling. But overall, I think more than pacers, I think the spinners have done well when Ishan Kishan has managed to come up with a better plan when it comes to utilization of those resources. So again, today it's a day game. It will be another challenge for him. But for them to to keep themselves in a strong position in the rest of the playoffs, I think today it's a big challenge for them against some team like Punjab Kings.
Indeed, it's a day game. My only contribution to that would be that even Ishan Malinga, I think, adding that to the bowling list, falling into some kind of a rhythm. Okay, Bharat, coming to you. I mean, if you look at the top order, SRH boasts a really explosive top order. In the last match versus Lucknow Super Giants, as more mentioned, Klassen and Nitish Kumar Reddy scored 62 and 56, if I'm not wrong. It looks like the batting is coming into its own. And if you go back last year, you will remember they scored that 246 versus Punjab Kings at
I
Hyderabad.
think there's some problem with my net. Just let me again come back. Just 1 minute.
Yeah. Okay, let me then move across to Mohor till Bharat comes back. More just building on what you were in fact saying, which is Klassen and Nitish Reddy in the last match versus Lucknow Super Giants. It looks like the batting is kind of falling into a rhythm. And if you go back 1 year in time, when they had played Punjab Kings at Hyderabad, they had taken them down with a total of 246, which is their second biggest chase in IPL history. Do you think Sunrisers of Hyderabad are very close to finding their rhythm?
Yes, I think so, because over the last couple of years, if you see, they were also largely dependent on the top two. But now, I mean, it was really impressive how in the previous game, when the top two was not able to get going, the middle order or the lower order came and contributed. But then once again, in order to find their rhythm, I think collective effort is very much required. Obviously their explosiveness is what makes them the Sunrisers Hyderabad that they are, but also at the same time the consistency also needs to be there in the batting. Everybody has to chip in little by little. It's not necessary for anyone to score a century, but everybody has to chip in, and that's when they'll start performing well, because especially when we know that their fast bowling department especially has not been doing that well. Pat Cummins is not here. So the batting department needs to take up that responsibility of making them win the games. And I mean, if everyone starts firing one after the other, then I think they'll be unstoppable again.
Fair enough. Snehashish, let's talk about Punjab Kings now. I mean, Punjab Kings have not lost a single match till now, but we know that in that last match at Eden versus KKR, it was a no-result game because of the rain. What do you think they will be looking at in terms of fancying their chances versus Sunrisers Hyderabad?
I think if you see as a unit, I think they have performed well compared to Sunrisers Hyderabad. Against KKR also, I think they had a fantastic start, 2 wickets in the power play. They had the momentum at that moment. Unfortunately, the rain came and the match didn't happen. I think Xavier Bartlett didn't look good in the first two games. But against KKR, I think he started brilliant. Took 2 wickets, both Finn Allen and Cameron Green. I think those were brilliant deliveries. But again today, I think it's a new game, new challenge, and as always, day game, different scenario and different plans need to be there. As a captain, I think Shreyas has been fantastic. The way he has been using his resources for the last 1.5 years for KKR, first in 2024. Then we saw last year also with PBKS, and now also in all the three games that we have seen so far. I think he has been fantastic. But the main, I think key factor for them and successful factor for them in last 1 year, I think their Indian core batting. I think the Indian core batting of five batters, I think they have been brilliant. If you see the opening duo of Simran Singh and Priyan Sharia, I think superb. Priyan Sharia as an impact player, I think he has been fantastic. They are using Priyan Sharia as an impact player this time around, and I think he has been fantastic. Then Shreyas Iyer, Nihal Vadera, and Shashank is there also. I think these five players have been superb, and they are going to be key again this year, and they are doing good also. They have started this tournament also, I think, on a positive note. And then when you have these five Indian options, then you have three quality, 3 or 4 quality all-rounders also, overseas all-rounders, like, Marcus Stoinis, Marcus, and Omar Zaid, Asmatullah Omar Zaid, and also, Marco Jansen. I think they have been superb. Jansen, I think, is one of the best all-rounders in the world, I think, right now, when it comes to the all-round abilities at number 6, at number 7. So I think overall as a unit, I think they have been fantastic. And who can forget Cooper Connolly, how good he has been in his first season in IPL. I think he won that good. Already he won one game for PBKS while batting at number 3. Last year, Josh Ingley did that role for PBKS. This year, I think Cooper Connolly has started well, but consistency will be key. Let's see how he does at the end of this season. But the start has been very promising. So overall, as a unit, I think they have been fantastic. And I think as a team, the start they managed to get KKR. I think they must be a little bit disappointed that the match didn't happen. It seemed that the match was already in their grips the way they started that match. But I think as a unit they will have a fresh start, and they will look to just continue that momentum. Right now, more momentum I think is with Punjab Kings compared to Sunrisers Hyderabad.
Yeah, more momentum with Punjab Kings. Bharat, coming to you, we were talking about Punjab Kings, and Shreyas makes this point that their batting, is predicated on strong Indian batting lineup, and their bowling also, with the kind of strength that they have, they've got the momentum on their side. How do you rate them? How do you think they will be fancying their chances in the match today?
Yeah, they have a strong batting lineup, obviously. It's already been noted. Because, see, in this day and age, in the world of IPL, you need strong batting lineups because you get a lot of flat pitches. So you would want to get 200 to not just 200. This days, you're looking at above par scores of 220, 230. So when you consider that, they have a strong top order that is very important. So you generally expect Prabh Simran and Priyan Sharia to get them off the quick start. It could be 180 runs or 6 overs or on those lines on flat pitches. And once you do that, then it becomes somewhat easier for the rest of the batting lineup to come and fire. Even if they don't fire, they have good batters down the order. As it's already been noted, Cooper Connolly, although he was struggling for some reason, he was struggling when he was playing for Australia in T20Is. But as soon as he came and played in the IPL, he started performing. Then obviously Shreyas also is there. So they have that kind of lineup down the order as well. There's someone like Marco Jansen to come in and play those big shots. He's already shown it a couple of times this season itself. So PBKs have the batting lineup, and also their bowling attack is good enough. It's pretty good enough to defend totals. Someone like underrated Vijay Kumar Vaishak, I think, has done well for them over a couple of games with his defensive bowling and the slog overs. It doesn't look like someone who is a gun bowler, but still he has those defensive skills like the slower ones. So overall basis, it seems like I think they will again get into the later stages of the tournament. After that, obviously, it comes down to whether you are mentally up to it, because the kind of pressure that you are under will be huge. So I think they will qualify for the later stages of the tournament.
All right, so pretty optimistic there about qualifying in the later stages. It's interesting, Bharat, that you mentioned Vijay Kumar Vaishak, and I'm going to come back to you and Shreyas on the emerging bowlers. We've been speaking about batting, so let's also spend some time on the bowling, because there is Vaibhav, there is Brijesh Sharma, there is Vijay Kumar Vaishar. Interested to know who you think are the emerging picks, really. But I'll come back to that. First, let's take a question. It's a little confusing. This for Mohor. Mohor, Milan Acharya is saying Rinku Singh is very much overrated. Last 12 innings, strike rate 125. Rinku Singh 2023 के बाद कुछ नहीं किया. Shreyas Iyer deserves more respect. KKR Championship and Gambhir for India Test and ODI downfall. Okay, there's a lot there, but do you just want to react to Shreyas Iyer deserves more respect?
Yeah, I'll put aside that Rinku Singh comment. I mean, for sure, he's not been in good form. But then again, we all know his mettle as a player, especially in the T20 format. Coming back to Shreyas Iyer, for sure, I still think he's very, very underrated, especially as a leader. Number three, obviously, he plays in number 3, 4. He can take on spinners really well. His leadership skills I don't know why they're not talked about as much. He has great leadership qualities. He has records as well. Even last year, he took his team to the finals, won the IPL in 2024. And I mean, for sure, if I have to just stick with that part, that Shreyas Iyer does not probably get as much as appreciation as he would, as he deserves, then I kind of agree with it, because he is a really good player. Rinku Singh comment, I'm not commenting on that.
Yeah, let's
And I
leave that
just had a
aside.
point, just a small point.
That's way too harsh to compare. Let's not compare two people. I mean, they're not even the same roles, so it's not possible to compare.
Just adding a small point on it, Rinku Singh, if it is fine. See, I don't go into comparisons, but if there's a problem with Rinku Singh, I think it's against spin bowling. In the last couple of seasons, is kind of getting stuck while playing spin bowling. If you go and ask the experts, they will tell that the funda is very simple. Pick the length early, play late. Somewhere Rinku Singh is somewhere not able to do it. That is why I think he's struggling in spin, is getting stuck in the crease. So if he has to really upgrade his game, I think it is against certain kinds of spinners, because I think he has a problem there.
In fact, on that point, Shongbit Dotto Bishwas is saying whoever said Iyer better than Rinku in T20s needs to look at their international records to come out of the delusion. Okay, I think Bharat, you made this point, so we will leave that. Sorry, you wanted to say something to that?
I just said fan wars. The fan wars will keep going, will keep on going.
Exactly.
Yeah, the fan wars will keep on going. But let's go back to that point, before we move to the second match. The point about emerging bowlers, it's true that every IPL season throws up new bowling talent as well. And I thought that some of these bowlers, and consciously I've picked no spinners in my list, but between pacers and spinners, so who do you think are your top picks of what you have seen so far? Shreyas first.
I think obviously Vijay Kumar Vaishak has been impressive. In the last season also he did well for PBKS. In the death bowling especially, I think he has been superb, and this season also. I think Ashok Sharma, the name that we have been talking about for GT, I think the raw pace that, because we have seen this kind of pace from other bowlers also, like Umran Malik, Mayank Yadav also, but the injuries have been a problem, and the line and length also. But with Ashok, so far we have seen that he has been impressive with the line and length also. So I think he has been doing good also. But one spinner, he is not an emerging player, but I'm happy that he is making a comeback. That is, I think, Ravi Bishnoi. If you see his numbers in the last few years, he has not been able to come up with good performances for his franchises, and that is why he has lost his place in the senior team also. Because if we can all remember, in 2022, he was the #1 ranked bowler in T20Is. For India, he was doing superbly well, but from that year, I think in IPL also his number continued to decrease. And last night after the match, he was talking with the broadcaster. He told that he made some changes in his action, in his run up and everything. And I think that is coming in favor of him right now. And that is why he is now holding the purple cap also after 4 matches. I think it's 9 wickets. So it's so good to see, doing him doing so good. I think going forward, India need more options, especially in the spin department also. Because if you see currently, there is less number of spinners that you can say, okay, if our main spinners are not doing well, then okay, these players are waiting, we can give chances, but the numbers are quite less. So that is why I'm saying that Ravi Bishnoi doing well is a good sign for India, but also from pace perspective, I think Ashok Sharma, I think mainly, I think pretty impressive because of his raw pace. I think it's very rare, and it's so good to see a youngster doing so well.
Yeah, I think Bharat Ashish makes a good point, especially when you have quite a few injuries. For example, this year, India needs a lot of talent to come through the pipeline. Your thoughts? Has this edition thrown up enough bowlers, both in pace as well as in spin?
I will just add one point. Looking at the type of pitches going around, it's difficult for an inexperienced pacer or a spinner to do well because the kind of pitches we're looking at, even with Ashok Sharma, is going at 11.3 runs per over. Nothing against him. It's just that he has played on a couple of, what can you say, motorways where it feels as if even if you go for 40 runs in 4 overs, it is good enough. But yes, Ashok Sharma, I have interviewed his coaches as well a couple of times, Stephen Jones. They talk a lot of good things about him. See, first of all, he's a tall, fast bowler. So he gets that bounce, he snaps his back hard. So it's not just about bowling at 154 kilometers per hour. He gets that kind of bounce, extra bounce, which definitely helps. See what happens with a lot of skiddy pacers, even if you look at Umran Malik, a very skiddy pacer. If he's going to give width, then the batter will cash on it, because what happens here is he doesn't get that kind of bounce. But with someone like Ashok Sharma, he might just escape even if he provides width. So I think that is one of his key strengths. It's something that Gujarat Titans have done well with Ashish Nehra as the coach. They always pick these young fast bowlers. They also have Gurnur, who has not played much, but he's also with Gujarat Titans. So they always tend to pick these young fast bowlers. Even Prasidh Krishna made a comeback. It was with Gujarat Titans. He became a purple cap holder there, and this season also has taken 6 wickets. So I think he's one of them. I like Mohsin Khan, but unfortunately he's always injured. Plays one game, doesn't play 2 games, doesn't play 3 games. He's not played a competitive match before this IPL for maybe 1 year or 14 months or 16 months. So I think that's his problem. Mohsin Khan, same thing with Mayank Yadav. At his best, he had that ability to force the batters into making mistakes. That is a very unique ability. Generally, perhaps over 34 years, I've seen Jasprit Umrah do it consistently. Maybe Javgal Sinha do it sometimes. Occasionally, Prasidh or Harshit do it, but not many times. So I think that he had that ability, but unfortunately, again, injury prone. So you get a lot of these fast bowlers who are injured, and then you have someone like Karthik Tyagi pace. But one point I have something against Karthik Tyagi is he has changed his action 3 times over 2 years. Once he tried to imitate Brickley, once he tried to now he has tried to imitate Mark Wood, as Dale Steyn himself noted it on Twitter, not just a layman like Bharat Ramraj, even an expert like Dale Steyn noted it on Twitter. That you can't keep imitating someone's action. You have to develop your own natural action. So he might be struggling. That's why he might be struggling a little bit for having a repeatable action. Because if you notice, he's going for a lot of runs, but he has space. So I think these are the 3 fast bowlers. One wild card I will look at is that Shivam Kumar plays for SRH. I liked what I saw of his bowling. He gets that little bit of revs on the ball. It's not Kuldeep Yadav. Let's not compare him to Kuldeep Yadav, but I think he's a decent left-arm wrist spinner who has that. I think he has, so I think he will be a good prospect.
Okay.
I think one other name, I think Brijesh from Rajasthan Royals. I think Brijesh has looked impressive.
Yes, I agree. Vijay Sharma, I think actually quite a lot of talent coming through. Okay, time to move to the second match, but the comments are not allowing me to change. Basically, Shongbit is saying that it's not about fan war, Bharat. It's about backing impactful players in their lean patch. Anyway, so that's fine. I think there are some comments from Nashili about the playing 11. People have been underestimating SRH. Mohar, do you want to take that?
I mean, see, SRH, they have a very impactful batting lineup, I would say. I will not be banking on their pace bowlers, but yes, if you look at their batting, they have all the strengths that are needed. It's just that they all have to fire at the same time, which is not happening because of their individual forms or some misreading, miscalculation, whatever. But let's not underestimate this team. It's capable of doing wonders and putting any opposition in trouble the day they get going. So it will not be wise to rule them out completely, especially because it's just been a few games and Pat Cummins is yet to join. So let's not count them out. But yes, if keeping today's match in mind, if you talk about both the teams and their current forms, I think PBKS of course do have an upper hand.
Yeah, and freaking awesome agrees with you. He says Punjab Kings don't look comfortable at their new home, which is Mulanpur. They have
Yeah.
won only 4 out of 11 games at Mulanpur. PBKS is
Yeah.
is a pretty good side, and hope they will play well today. We also hope they will play well. But let's go
Yeah.
to Snehashish and change tracks to the evening match. Freaking awesome is asking a question, Snehashish. He's saying, why don't CSK open with Ruturaj and Ayush Matre? Sanju can bat at number 3 as he had played at this position before for RR. Ruturaj batted at number 3 in the last season and it did not work for him at all. Your take,
Yeah.
Snehashish?
Yeah, I think interesting, suggestion because Ruturaj did well as an opener. If you all can remember that season, I think that season, in 2023, which CSK won, along with I think Devon Conway, and I think the way he batted, I think it was fantastic. So I think Fab du Plessis also, I think they are also that time. Yeah. So I think he did well, but Sanju Samson, I think as an opener, I think he has been playing well. If you see in the last 6 7 months, the way he has been batting as an opener, I think it's very hard right now, to play him at number 3 or number 4. I think the role changes, and it is very difficult for any player to suddenly say that okay, I just want you to play that role, and it is very difficult for any player to adapt that role instantly. So I think now, so it is all good that he's playing as an opener. I think the problem with Ruturaj, I think, has been the consistency. It has been, I think, after that one season that I mentioned earlier, right now. After that, it was the last 2 3 years. I think the consistency has been an issue for him. Wherever he has batted at as an opener, maybe, or maybe at number 3 or number 4, doesn't matter. But as he has failed to bring that consistency, maybe the captaincy pressure and everything, because it's not easy, as a youngster to lead such a legacy franchise like CSK. It's not easy. You are taking the baton from someone like MS Dhoni, a successful leader like MS Dhoni. It's not easy. Maybe that has added a pressure on him as on the batter Ruturaj. But the quality that Ruturaj has, we always expect him to be more consistent. Because in domestic cricket also, we always talk about his consistency, the way he always comes and score big runs. But somehow in IPL for CSK, he has not managed to come up with good. Today, it's highly possible that Devon Davis makes a comeback. I think his inclusion in the middle order can help CSK, and can help Ruturaj the batter also to have a better option on the other hand, to give him more time. Because when as a batter you are struggling to score big, you are struggling to have that consistency, it's better to have one player scoring at free from the other end. That can give the another player that extra time to settle in and then go for the big runs. So hopefully in the coming games from today only, we can see Ruturaj scoring big. But I think the captaincy pressure, and right now if you see the way CSK have started, it's more tough situation for him, both as a captain and the batter. So right now he would love to lead from the front, but for that I think a big game is waiting for him from today onwards.
All right. The big question, will Devon Davis be able to salvage CSK? Bharat, you've been a champion of how Jacob Duffy has been utilized by RCB. Given injuries to their lead bowlers. What's been the challenge with Matt Henry when it comes to CSK? Question 1, and question 2 is of course your take on Devon Davis and how he can strengthen that batting lineup.
Yeah, see, there are different kinds of bowlers, the different types of bowlers. Not too sure one can compare Henry with Duffy because Henry is someone who's very skiddy, bowls that wobble seam a lot more. The problem with the CSK is, I think the pitch they played on, not the game against RCB, but before that, it was very flat. It was very, very flat. And in those conditions, if you're going to pick Kamboj and Matt Henry, then you're going to suffer because I think they ideally need a little bit of grass on the surface for that wobble seam to work for someone like Matt Henry. If you're going to play him on a very flat pitch, then it is going to be some problems at the top because he's not going to get any kind of movement or grip. So I think the best way to look at Jacob Duffy versus someone in CSK squad is I think Jamie Wharton. That is where I think CSK have gone somewhere wrong because he's a very similar kind of tall hit the pitch bowler. That is where I think RCB have used Jacob Duffy well. They've just asked him to go and hit the pitch hard, bowl a hard length, try to get bounce. That is how he has picked those 4 5 wickets. It's basically Swami tried to bang the pitch hard. Whereas someone like Jamie Wharton in that CSK versus RCB game, in the penultimate over when he was bowling to Team David, for some reason from round the wicket he tried 4 or 5 Yorkers. It didn't make any sense at all. That's not his strength. He's a 6 feet 6 inch bowler with a tall, with a high release point and snaps his back hard. So against someone like Tim David, he should have looked to bang the ball hard into the pitch and see whether he can get some height on him. That's how I think CSK have not used their bowlers or some of their batters well. Role clarity. If you're going to pick a tall fast bowler, then definitely you have to ask him to hit the pitch hard and look to get bounce. But they're asking him to bowl Yorkers, which doesn't make any sense because even when Jamie Wharton played for Somerset somewhere in 2013 or 2015, I don't remember him bowling Yorkers even in county cricket. So why would he succeed in the IPL by bowling that way?
More in that last match that CSK played against RCB, the one that Bharat just referred, actually Sarfaraz Khan came good with that knock of 50. Prashant Veed scored a high 30s and Jamie Overton also scored 30 something. In fact, they managed to score at 207, and I guess the difference between the two sides really was Tim David's knock. But, do you want to just talk about how CSK will be looking at their batting? How are they going to be fancying their chances in this match?
Yeah, so for starters, the openers need to get going. Sanju Samson and both Rituraj Gaikwad. Sanju does not have if you look at the overall records at Chepauk, he doesn't have great records as of yet. So he will be looking forward to correcting that and, getting back in shape. Rituraj has to do well. And also one more thing, I don't think they'll be playing Sarfaraz Khan as an impact player anymore because he did really well. I mean, he looked like he looked the way he used to look way back in the day. He looked good in form. He was hitting the ball well. Plus, I don't think he'll be playing as an impact player. With Devol Brevis's inclusion, it does give an upper hand to the batting lineup. It does, improve the way it was going. Also, one more point that I have to make is that their bowlers have been making a lot of mistakes at the end. So the bowling has been quite concerning. And one question I had regarding, the bowling department, why aren't they giving the ball to Prashant Veer is a big question that I have. Because he has been taken in as an all-rounder. He is a left-arm spinner. Why is he not being made to bowl? And this is a question for all the panelists.
Yeah, so we'll come back to that and we'll also talk about Delhi Capitals, which is the team left, but the toss has just gone through.
Okay.
And Punjab Kings has chosen to field. That's the news coming in. Punjab Kings chosen to field. Okay, let's just spend a few minutes on the first match. Snehashish, given the past history at Chandigarh, a score of 170, 180 looks to be the par score. But what do you think of this decision and what do you think Punjab Kings will be looking to do?
I think it's a very safe decision. They back their batting unit, informed batting unit. I will say the batting unit they have, as I mentioned, the Indian core, and obviously having the all rounders also to their service. I think it's very good decision in terms of them, from the perspective of them, because they know even they are asked to chase around 200, 210, they will fancy their chances considering the options they have with the bat. So I think to challenge Punjab Kings, I think SRH needs to bat pretty well. At least they have to put around 190 to 210 runs to have any kind of a challenge. Because if you ask, the bowling unit of SRH doesn't look that good when you see the options the Punjab Kings have with the bat. So it will be very difficult for SRH bowlers to contain them. So for them to have that extra cushion of 20-30 runs, SRH batter needs to score around 200 210 runs. Otherwise, I think it will be very difficult for PBKS because it's a day game. I think nothing that much will change in terms of the pitch conditions in the second innings. Maybe in the last phase, maybe in the last few overs, 5 or 6 overs, maybe some dew or something, but it is not likely to happen that much. So I think, considering the batting form of the whole unit of PBKS, I think it's a good decision that they have gone with the chase.
Right. Bharat, it looks like Shreyas Iyer is basically saying that they want to back the youngsters. Priyansh comes in for Nehal Vadera. Um, any thoughts on that in terms of their lineup?
Yeah, just have to say a little more about the lineup because I'm in front of you via mobile. So if you can just tell me the lineup.
Just waiting for the lineup. Yet to get that in, but the moment I get it, I will share that. What I do know is that Priyansh is coming in for Nehal Vadera, and as far as Ishan
He's one of
Kishan
the
goes,
best players, so I expect him to be there in that side. Is very much an integral part of that particular setup. At the top of the order, you need players who can get those big runs, who can score quickly, not just big runs, who score very quickly in the power play overs. So with Prab Simran and Priyan Sharia, obviously expected they will bat at the top.
for sure, for sure. Uh, it looks like Praful Hinge is making his debut in place of Unadkat. Neashish, any thoughts on that?
Okay, so because I don't know about much the player, the fact I maybe Bharat knows, so I think it's better that he talks about that players if he knows. But it's good that they are trying a new player because obviously as we discussed, the bowling unit doesn't look that good. But it's interesting that in place of Jaydev Unadkat, because Jaydev Unadkat at least bringing up the experience that he has over all the years of playing IPL also and the domestic cricket also. I think Jaydev Unadkat only the experienced players. I know David Payne has played a lot of T20s across the globe. I know that, but in terms of international experience and IPL, I think this is the first season that he's playing in IPL. So it is very surprise. It is very interesting that SRH has taken that decision. But let's see how he does given the opportunity.
Fair enough. I have the playing
Maybe
11s here.
maybe I will add something on this bowler. Yeah, I think he's from Maharashtra. Whatever I've seen of him, he's a cricketer from Maharashtra. We saw him a couple of times in domestic crickets. Maybe it's because they want a little more pace. I'm not saying he's a 145 kilometer per hour bowler, but maybe he will bowl, what can you say, at waspish pace. I actually felt Ankar Tarmale was better of the two in terms of having that pace. Maybe they don't have that kind of confidence in Ankar, that Mumbai pacer. Sometimes it seems to be a little wavered. So that could be the reason why Praful is getting that nod ahead of him. I just wanted to add one more point. I'm surprised that they still don't pick someone like Bryden Cars. He must have had an eagle. That's what I heard before the first match. After that, I've not heard anything about him because I'm not saying he's at Pat Cummins' level, but he comes from a very similar school of pace bowling, tall, fast bowler, looks to get bounce. Yes, he doesn't have the contour of Pat Cummins, but I think they should have definitely looked at Bryden Cars if he were fully fit.
Okay. In terms of the playing 11, I think there's a change here. So basically, Punjab Kings is playing Prabsimran Singh, Priyan Sharia, Cooper Connolly, Shreyas Iyer, Shashank Singh, Marcus Stoinis, Marco Janssen, Xavier Bartlett, Vijay Kumar Vaishak, Arshdeep Singh, and Yuzvendra Chahal. That's the lineup for Punjab Kings. As far as Sunrisers Hyderabad go, it's Abhishek Sharma and Travis Head as expected at the top. Ishan Kishan, Henrik Klassen, Salil Arora, Aniket Verma, Nitish Kumar Reddy, Harsh Dubey, Shivam Kumar, Harshal Patel, and Ishan Malinga.
Okay, they are
Okay.
batting first, right?
Okay, I think pretty much on expected lines. Let's go back to what we were talking about the second match, and we'll then wrap up the show with some questions. We talked about CSK, we talked about their bowling, we talked about the batting. Let's come to Delhi Capitals. Um, More your take. So far it's been a kind of balanced journey for them. Do you think they have momentum backing them?
100%. I mean, the last game was pretty unfortunate the way it ended because of just one lapse at the end. But overall, they've been dominating. I think they have a balanced unit. Their bowling, especially, has been really good. Everybody has been firing. You name T Natarajan or the spinners, anybody coming. They have been picking up wickets and controlling runs as well. Their only concern was their top order not being able to get going. But even the previous day, we saw that KL Rahul also started, playing really well. So I think they have momentum. They are far more balanced as compared to CSK, and yeah, I will give them the upper hand tonight. Also, they have Samir
Snehashish,
Rizvi as well in good form.
yeah, yeah, some really good innings from Samir Rizvi, from Patum Nishanka there. David Miller, of course. Snehashish, talk us through what you think Delhi will be looking at in terms of fancying their chances for the match.
I think in terms of confidence, I think DC are more confident side right now compared to CSK. Yeah, obviously it's a good chance for CSK to make a comeback because they are playing it on home soil. I think in front of their home crowd, it is expected CSK to have that 12 men supporting, and I think that will be an extra challenge for DC. But I think first of all, DC needs to forget what happened the last game. It's very heartbreaking for them the way the match ended. But overall, I think it has been a good start for them as a unit. So I think that should be the positive that they should take and go into this match. The positive, the someone like Samir is with the way he has played, the way he has batted in those two games. Yeah, in the last game he didn't pick the googly from Rashid Khan. I think Rashid Khan was brilliant in that game. But I think Pratham Nisanka, you expect some more runs from him, the quality batter he is, but somehow he has managed to give those starts. But as a batter, I think I think you expect more consistency from him, more runs from him. So let's see how he does. KL Rahul also good knock yesterday in the last game, but again, uh, I think people still will talk about a little bit more, strike rate and all, because 92 of 52, it's around that, one say 160, 165 or maybe 170, but a little bit more, strike rate, maybe that DC fan will hope for. As a bowling unit, I think they have been fantastic. I think their spinners, Akshay Patel, I think superb. Akshay Patel with the bat, I will hope that he will come up and do well. But overall, I think you as a unit, I think DC will be more confident and they will look to continue that momentum in Chennai.
Okay, Bharat, your thoughts? Delhi Capitals, how does the team stack up?
Yeah, most of the players have already been mentioned. I will just add one name, that is Lungi Ngidi. I like what he's doing. I think he has the best slower ball going around in the cricketing landscape. Not even Bumrah. I think it is Ngidi was the best slower ball. Kind of side spin that he gets. If Ngidi was born again, he could have been a fine spinner as well because he's imparting a lot of side spin in the ball. There is something different to the kind of slower balls that you see in the modern day cricket, or even the past. It's more like a Dwayne Brown type of slower ball. So I think he's a very good addition to the Delhi Capital side. Otherwise, yes, Rizvi, I think, has improved his game, though he still has some problems against pace, maybe against Googly, but he's at least able to keep out some of the good deliveries. In the past, it felt as if when he was playing for Chennai Super Kings, it was all about just one gear for him. That is why I think he had some problems, but I think he's upgraded his game. So yes, it's a resourceful side. That's how I would look at it. Even including KL Rahul or Nisanka. Yes, they may not be as explosive as some of the other openers, but they still can give you a good start. And from there, you can build on the platform. See, last game, the Delhi Capitals lost. It is not because of KL Rahul. Yes, he can improve his strike rate a little bit, but he still laid the platform. And Delhi Capitals ideally should have won. I don't want to again go into those last two balls. But yes, I think it's a resourceful side which can most likely they can qualify. They would qualify for the later stages of the tournament.
All right, almost time to end the show. There is a question from Shongbit. He's saying, off topic, too much T20s and pressure of strike rate has changed Jaiswal's technique from going behind the line of the ball to suddenly staying beside the line of the ball, which may hamper him in test cricket.
Not
Okay,
sure that is how you have to look at it. See, batters always look to what can I say, play with three different triggers. That's what I think Jaiswal also is trying. Yes, his main trigger is backward trigger. What he does is, I think, more more weight on the front foot. That is why his back foot goes back and across. That is main trigger. Sometimes you will also look to play beside the ball. You will look to play leg side of the ball just because of the fact that you can't play with one trigger all the time. It's not just in T20 cricket. Sometimes even in Test cricket, when Joe Strong was bowling a lot of bouncers at Jaiswal in that oval test, I guess he was standing a little more beside the line of the ball, Jaiswal, and he went on to crack 100. That's usually an indicator or encapsulates what can you say is versatility, that he's able to play with 2-3 different triggers.
Okay. More Syed Nizamuddin is asking, is Shreyas Iyer the best captain of this year's IPL?
He's surely one of the best leaders going around right now. I will not jump into that conclusion immediately, but yes, he has been pretty impressive. You will generally see him up there in number among first top 3 or somewhere. If he's the best or not, I think it's still too early to comment. A lot of the newly turned captains have been doing really well. For example, I really have to mention Riyan Parag's captaincy. He has improved quite a bit, and he has been the bowling changes and everything has been doing really well. So once again, it's very early to comment. Let's see till the end. I'll make this comment at the end of the IPL.
All right. Okay, there is one interesting question. I don't know if you want to respond to it because it's going to get into a debate. But Freaking Awesome is saying, why don't teams pick their best 11 first before listing their impact subs? Because if a key player is listed as an impact sub, if their batting doesn't click, then they can't pick that key player. It's like in the match RCB yesterday, they played with a bowler shot and they couldn't go for Suyash Sharma because of the choice of Venkatesh Iyer. I think that's what they are talking about. Okay, let's leave it at that. Impact player rule must be removed as it is killing the all-rounders. Syed Nizamuddin, I think we will leave this for a different day. It is a full debate.
I will definitely agree. If I'm going to say something,
that's a big discussion.
I'm always against it. I don't think it's made a massive difference either to how teams are performing. So I would say just remove it.
All right. Let's take some predictions and close the show. Let me first ask Mohar, what's your take on the first match, SRH versus Punjab?
If you look at both the teams and the recent head-to-head records, SRH do have an upper hand. But again, coming back to the recent form, since T20 cricket is all about current form, if I have to say it in percentage, then I think it's a 70-30 situation. 70% for Punjab Kings, 30% for SRH. But let's see. We never know.
Would you agree, Bharat?
In T20 cricket, especially in the world of IPL, I go back to that. It's a glitch. It's very difficult to say which team will win or which team will win or which team will lose. But maybe today is SRH day, because what happens is if you win 2-3 games in a row, you just tend to lose one game somewhere. And that could be today for someone like Punjab Kings. And today could be the day for SRH to win one of those games. But yes, on paper, I would say that Punjab Kings are still the better side, maybe something like 60-40 in their favor, because SRH, their pace attack, even without someone like Bryden Cars, I think their pace attack especially lacks a little bit of bite.
Yeah, I would also tend to agree and go with a 60-40 in favor of Punjab. Snehashish, let's close the show with your prediction, but I'll ask you on the second match. Delhi versus CSK. Do you think CSK stands a chance there?
See, I think on home soil they will fancy their chances. I think if Deval Brevis makes a comeback, that will be a huge boost for them. Let's see how he does if he makes a comeback. But still, I think on paper and in terms of current condition, current form and confidence also, I think DC will start at favorites, and I think DC can edge past Chennai in Chennai. But what CSK, if they lost, I think it's very difficult for them to make any kind of a comeback. Like KKR, I think just like KKR, if CSK today also lost this match, I think it's very difficult for them. It is going to be a very long season for them. But I think personally DC have a better chance to.
Just a small point in 30 seconds. The only thing I will add is I don't understand why Chennai Super Kings are preparing or allowing flat tracks to be prepared, because the kind of seamers they're picking, Matt Hendrick, Kamboj, this kind of seamers need a little bit of grass, need a little bit of help, assistance. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. I'm hearing from a couple of them that they don't have that kind of authority to ask the curator to prepare certain track that I'm not sure how true it is, but I just don't understand. It is not synonymous with the kind of teams that they're picking for those pitches, the flat pitches.
All right, so that's it then on the pre-show today. Punjab Kings looking to gain on the momentum they've got. Sunrisers Hyderabad know that past records are in their favor. They will be looking to get back into the scheme of things. And in the second match later this evening, Chennai Super Kings would be hoping to make their first win possible today. We will bring you all the action and all the updates in the post-match show. So stay tuned, enjoy the games, and we'll come back to you. Thank you, Mohor, Snehashish, and Bharat for joining the show.